短い夏が終わる頃、一緒に暮らしていたおじいさんが死んだ。長い間一緒にいたのに、僕はおじいさんの名前は知らない。夕暮れ、家の前の庭に小さな穴を掘って、おじいさんをそこに埋めた。それから僕は本当に一人ぼっちに。
And what's going on, everyone? This is Team Rival here on the Skype edition of one of these sort of review things. Joining me is my good pal Crazy Kenbei. What's going on, good sir?
Hi. Yeah, I'm gonna do good.
Good to hear. Him and I have pretty good taste in games. I think that's something we can outright say right there. And there's a Wii game we want to talk about that you probably overlooked and didn't really care about. It's called Fragile Dreams: Farewell Ruins of the Moon. Like I said, it's for Wii. Came out, I think it was what, March? Ooh, I was good. March of 2010, March of this past year.
Yeah.
So, and the reason we want to talk about this game is because it's there's something that's really interesting about it. And I think I will let Kenbei kind of start us off and tell us a little bit about the plot and whatever, and what's going on, the whole idea behind the game.
Well, Fragile Dream takes place in that the entire world has been destroyed, and then you play as a young man named Seto, who lives with his grandfather, and his grandfather basically dies in the summer. Basically leaves him this letter, tell him to go explore, reach a red tower, and seek out, survivors, and he finds a flashlight, and then he travels with this flashlight, and then shortly after he meets a silver-haired girl named Ren. And then from there, he separates from her, but he runs into all kinds of things like ghosts and very unique characters, and it just gets interesting from there.
Yeah, that's definitely right. And one thing that's kind of interesting about this game is the gameplay is, in my opinion, it's very kind of probably as basic as you could possibly make it. It's a flashlight game, of course, and you look around with the flashlight by moving the Wiimote and whatever, and you'll like be picking up random objects throughout the world, like sticks or brooms or just random things you can find as weapons, and then all you do to attack is, I think, hit the A button, and there's like a certain pattern depending on which type of weapon you are using. Not very deep combat, and in terms of playability, it's just kind of like, all right, that's cool. Nothing mind blowing, nothing that will blow you away.
Yeah, it gets the job done.
It gets the job done. But I think where this game really excels is in terms of just the plot and the overall atmosphere of the game. Because this is, I think, a game you have to look at it from a different perspective if you're truly gonna appreciate what it does right.
Yeah. It's like, it have an interesting story and concept, and then you have like this exploration concept. Like for example, it's like a little power, you get like a new flashlight. It's like a green light, and it helps you see like white like things, invisible things, and you get to see when you explore like the ancient village. You see like all these chilling messages of like all the survivors left in their last moment, and it just adds to the atmosphere, and you see all these ghosts around. It's just crazy.
Yeah, the music is absolutely phenomenal. It's very mood setting, I think. And I think that what they were trying to go for with this game is to create this believable character and like create this world around him that really just captures the essence of him being, the only one that's around pretty much. So the game it's very dark, it's very quiet, but like it's not like a Resident Evil style game where everything is gray and there's no color. It's a very colorful world, and yet it still manages to maintain its sense of, all right, you're the only one here. You're kind of screwed. You're kind of on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, the graphics is like a unique style. It's like 3D and like cel shaded, but it's not like either. It's very like unique colors they used.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you really have to look at this game from this sort of perspective. that the story you'll meet, like, let's say you go to a new area. Usually you'll meet like a new character or something, whether or not they're alive or dead is another thing entirely. But you'll meet this new character. You'll learn why this character is like here, what's going on, like their backstory pretty much. And then you'll sort of develop an attachment for this character. But before you know it, that character is gone and Seto's all back alone by himself.
Yeah. It explores, and you find more things that gives you hints of what is going on, but it's really interesting.
Yeah, there's all these little mementos you can pick up throughout the world, and you have to put it in your inventory. And that's another thing that kind of pissed me off was the inventory management system, just because you were always very limited for space and things. It was set up in like a grid and
Resident
everything.
Evil 4, like,
Yeah, pretty much like Resident Evil 4, except it wasn't like a whole gigantic briefcase where you could fit like machine guns. Like you can
you
fit
always have
very few items.
you always have too many items, and you always have to toss something before you reach the next save point.
But again, I think in terms of how this game is supposed to be, viewed, Seto isn't gonna be, Kenshiro where he can defeat 100. He's a 14-year-old kid. So he's gonna fight like a 14-year-old kid who's never fought before. So he just swings the stick kind of clumsily. He's not like he's using a sword or anything. He's using makeshift weapons pretty much. And, he only has his backpack, so you're only going to have, this much space. It's a game that tries to really maintain its identity pretty much. And that's very rare for games to, kind of pull, so many hit so many buttons and pull so many strings that could, potentially ruin this game, but it actually I think makes the game more enjoyable in my opinion.
Yeah, but I can see, like the professional reviewers, they really had a problem with the gameplay. I think the combat, that's why, really held them back from really praising the game. I
Yeah,
think that
I agree definitely. I
seems like,
think that they should have kind of seen it from the perspective of this is a game that isn't trying to, revolutionize or change the way you look at games. It's just trying to tell a very gripping and, touching, I would say borderline touching story of, heartbreak and loneliness and redemption and, trying to find where you're supposed to belong in the world.
yeah,
I mean, it was a game that had been on my radar for some time, and once I actually played it, I kind of realized it's not a game meant for like just a straight up gamer, like a guy who like wants action, he wants gameplay. If you enjoy a good story, and especially if you're a fan of anime, because I could really see this game, being turned into an anime and being
yeah,
a
yeah,
damn good anime at that.
yeah, definitely.
So, what else is there to talk about? I think we kind of,
Soundtrack, maybe?
well, yeah, I mentioned that the soundtrack is incredible. Like I said, it's a very gripping and just suits every track suits what's going on and happening in the game at that time. And sometimes there's no music at all, which I think works much more wonders than actually putting music in at times.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. Do you have any final thoughts about this game? Do you think it's a buy? Do you think they should rent it?
Yeah, it's kind of like a game. I really can't tell if you're gonna like it or you're going to hate it, but I think you should try it out first, get a feel for it, because it's not the kind of game I can just outright recommend. It's something you actually try first, I think.
Yeah, it really kind of depends on your tastes, I think. Like if you like I said, if you're someone who likes a good story, a good story-driven game, gameplay is an essential, then definitely pick this game up. This is a very underrated title for the Wii. I think, in 10 or 15 years, people are gonna mention this game for the story and what it did right. Maybe not so much, like I said, the gameplay, but there's a lot of things that were done right in this game. Don't believe what the professional reviewer said. It's not a terrible game.
Yeah, it's actually one of the better, probably the best flashlight game you can play on the Wii. Probably one of them. It's up
Yeah, I
there.
would play, and I hate flashlight games. This is definitely an exception, though. Well, all right, that's pretty much it, I think. I'd like to thank Mr. Kembe for coming on and assisting me with all of his wise knowledge. And he will be back soon, of course. I'm planning on doing more reviews like that. But until then, I will see you guys later.